How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about this whole Donald Trump tax return issue that's been really big all over the internet, all over television today because the Supreme Court ruled on it. Now, there are quite a few headlines that aren't really right, that aren't really accurate, and there's a lot of information out there that's very hard to understand. Now, I'm going to try to get through this the best I can. I'm not a lawyer. Never been to law school, never taken the bar exam, but I'm gonna try to get through it the best I can based upon what I've read. And I'll link to all my sources in the box below so you can see everything for yourself and not just take my word for it. Now, there are a couple of cases here we gotta talk about. The first one involves the Manhattan District Attorney, Cy Vance, his investigation into Trump based on his business dealings and so-called hush money that was allegedly paid to two women that he allegedly had an affair with. Then there's a case of Congress trying to get his tax returns because of Michael Cohen's testimony saying that Trump would either inflate his revenue or deflate his revenue depending upon what made sense financially for him. And they're saying based upon that testimony, they should get the tax returns to verify his income disclosure form, which is required. The tax returns are not required. Really what this is all harassment, just trying to, it's more of the Russia, Ukraine, it's more of the same. Their objective, in my humble opinion, is to get all the tax returns before the November election to try to use it against them, which is why you'll see in all the news sites, I don't care if you go left, right, front, center, they'll say before the election. Will it be before the election? That's the actual goal, to get the tax returns released to the public before the election. Now, let's talk about the rulings right quick, and then we get into my personal opinion a little bit more. The Supreme Court did not rule affirmatively in either specific case. You're talking about the Manhattan DA or Congress. They sent both actual cases back to the low court. What they did say is that Trump is not immune to subpoenas in general, which was the argument against the Manhattan case. So it opens a door to the Manhattan case, but it's not a definitive ruling. Now I'll explain that. In the Manhattan case, like I said, it's being kicked back down to the low court. If in the low court, Trump is unsuccessful in fighting it, because he can't fight it, and the low court, maybe even back to the high court, says that this case can go forward, then Trump's tax returns get released to the grand jury, but they're sealed. So they're not public at this point. They will only go public if the grand jury can find enough information there to move forward on an indictment of Trump. And you probably won't find anything in there for a Trump indictment. So this is kind of a nothing burger. There's a small chance that the tax returns could get released through the Manhattan DA, but it's almost like basically slim to none. But there is a chance. However, as it relates to Congress, like I said, the case has gone back to the low court, but Congress cannot just file just random lawsuits, because what the low court's got to decide is the separation of powers. That's the main thing in the Congress case. Congress, which is legislative branch, cannot just keep making laws and box the president into kind of a proverbial wall of laws, because that would be the legislative branch usurping or controlling, or both, the executive branch. Separation of powers prevents that from happening. A long-standing precedent in the Supreme Court says that the legislative branch cannot just be filing these subpoenas to try and embarrass people. It can't be a political tool, which it obviously is. You'll see, like I've been saying all throughout all the major news outlets, that they'll say, oh, well, November, can we get it before November? The objective here is to get tax returns before November so it can be used to embarrass Trump. It can be used to try and defeat Trump. This is a repeat of 2016. It was the exact same thing going on. Let's get certain things out there before the election to try and hurt them. You got sexual harassment. You got all this, that, and the third before the election. You got this whole thing with the virus going on. They want to try to extend that and try to hurt them. They want to try to hurt the economy. They want to do all these things to try and hurt the president. First, it was the Russiagate. It spent 3 years, $40 million, nothing. Ukraine, They spent less time and less money, still nothing. Now we're back to the whole tax return kerfuffle. They're not going to find much in the tax returns anyway. What you're going to see more as it relates to money and wealth and whatnot is the income disclosure form. That's where you're really going to see it. What are you really going to see on a 1040 or a W-2 or whatever he has? What are you really going to see? All that it shows is your annual income. And that can be kind of weird depending upon where you have money at, who's, what trust and all that kind of. You're not really going to find anything in the tax return. This is a desperate attempt to try and get Trump out of the way. The Supreme Court didn't give any kind of victory. You'll see some headlines that say, the Manhattan DA can, it's little keywords, can, will. But what does that really mean? Doesn't mean it'll go public. Doesn't mean like it's some kind of nail in Trump's coffin. Doesn't mean anything. All that it means is that these things can, in theory, go forward. But what are you actually going to get as a result? Will they go public? Will Trump get indicted? I seriously doubt it. If you are just now trying to find things in 2020 that are going to get Trump indicted, that have been going on for like 15, 14. And then the thing about it is Trump says that he's been under audit by the IRS for years, long before the president, 15, 20 years, every year. So if the IRS found nothing, if they found nothing as it relates to the impeachment, the Russia gate and everything else, why they gonna find something right now? Really, I think even just having this be a topic is a distraction to get people kind of wary of Trump. Oh, they investigating him. He got tax problems. Although there's nothing been found. You'll see these pundits go on TV and these politicians go on TV and they'll say, well, Trump's under investigation. He might be a tax cheat. He could be a tax cheat. We could find something. All this might, maybe, could, would, should. It'll be a big nothing burger at the end of the day. So as I close, I want to say this. What Trump said on Twitter and what he has been saying over the past few years is right. Presidential harassment, prosecutorial misconduct. That's what it is. You're trying to use subpoenas and lawsuits and whatnot to attack people. I know we live in a litigious society, but good grief. I mean, come on. And then you got a sitting president. Generally, they get broad deference, which means they're not going to give you ticky-tack little stuff while you sitting in the White House. That's generally how it goes. That's the way it should be. Not just for President Trump, but anybody. I don't care if you left, right, front, center, because that's the way to try and attack people to get them from leading. That's not how you conduct law in this country. That's just totally incorrect. So these cases will go nowhere. And after November, quite frankly, there'll be less fervor to even get them done. You might even see some stuff get dropped because what's the point? After November, the deal's been done. They might try until January before Trump actually gets inaugurated again. But you're not really going to, once Trump gets reelected, which is going to happen because you got Joe Biden out there like a corpse walking and talking, barely breathing. He has no chance of winning. Trump will win yet again. And once that happens, and once he gets back into office, all this will go away. Because at that point, it's like, what are we even trying to do? You got reelected, second term. All of our efforts were in vain. The budget to try and get Trump out of office is going to dry up because now there's no hope. You tried one impeachment, it didn't work. You tried all these things, it's not going to work. It's like Teflon. What's the point of keep trying to hurt somebody, but nothing that you're doing is working? So as I close, I want to say this. The Supreme Court case, nothing burger. Don't even worry about it. And like I said, if you want to read more about this, I'll link to it in the box. Both cases got kicked down to the low court. The only case that could go one way that might hurt Trump potentially would be the Manhattan DA case, but you got to have a few things that go on. You got to have A, the low court ruling against Trump, B, the grand jury getting the sealed documents, and then going forward with an indictment. So you got to have both of them things happen. You probably won't even get past point A, let alone point B. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think all of this going on with the Supreme Court is just presidential harassment, prosecutorial misconduct, kind of like ticky-tack little BS lawsuits to try and get Trump out of office, make him look bad? Because even if the lawsuits don't stick, even if he's not actually brought up with any charges, it just looks bad. The president is currently being investigated because of hush money paid to two women and bad business deals. The pundits, the media class, the political class on the left will say things like that on TV. Okay. although there's been nothing that actually has come of these allegations or cases. It's really unfortunate, but it is what it is. They should focus more on their candidate, Joe Biden. Like I said, he got pretty much one foot in the grave on his way out of here. Am I wrong about what I'm saying? Am I right about what I'm saying? Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.